Alright, time to put on my Google Maps for Carplay. What's good, fam? How y'all doing today? If you click on this video, that means you're interested in Carplay for this car. Like, bear with me. We're gonna do this. Hopefully at the very end, the result would be amazing. So let's get to it right now. So if you don't know or new to the channel, this is my 01 Lexus Is300. I got it almost a year now, but I've been slowly restoring it. And one of the things we need to do is show some love to the interior. Today, we're gonna focus on getting Carplay for this car. Finding the OEM GPS navigation version for this car, replacing this, and retrofitting a CarPlay screen into it. The main reason why you click on this video to neither you're curious about it, know about it, and wanted to do it. One main reason why I am doing this mod instead of the other simple one is that I'm trying to keep this how it is as much as I can. Also too, I like the more OEM plus style, and once we're done at the video, it's gonna function as like the navigation system. Is it a lot more work? Yes. We're gonna have some wire we have to do, some cutting, some retrofitting, and taking apart stuff, but that's okay. Kind of why I'm making this video also. There's not a lot of like in-depth version videos out there on YouTube that kind of shows you where they bought or like how to do it. Now, I want to say off the first bat that hopefully this video will help a lot of people who's been interested in doing it and wanted to do it themselves. If this is your first time watching my video or my channel, one main reason I started this channel is that I like to learn and figure out things, and I want to show people out there who kind of scared or want to tackle the stuff by themselves too, to do it. And I always say that if I can do it, you can do it. Just take some patience, some time, and then we got this. So let me show you guys most of the stuff that we need for this mod or install. Half of the stuff you definitely need to buy, and the other half, some of you might have it in your garage or house laying around on stuff, so you can make this work. This part of the video is basically saying if you don't have any of this stuff, all these things is linked down below on Amazon. You just add it to cart, click it, buy it, and then you're gonna have everything you need to install. This is making it, I'm trying to make it easy as possible for anybody who wants to do this, to just buy the supplies and get it going. You guys, all the stuff that you need, I'm gonna show it from least important to the most important. Now, that means for me is that neither least important as in you might already have it at your house or you don't really technically need to use this thing and use it alternate, to most important as in like you definitely need to find this or buy this to make this thing work. So heat shrink, this is not as important. Essentially, we're gonna be doing some wiring. You can just use electrical tape to wrap because some exposed stuff to help, or you can get some heat shrink. Dash cam hardwire kit. It's a USB-C. This is gonna help power the screen that we're gonna use, but in a different way. Connector pins. This is a big set from small to like large. You can buy this for your wiring. Red and black 18 gauge wire. Aux noise reducer, the static reducer in your car. The reason you need this is for this right here. It is a car audio interface. Essentially, this thing will take the signal or audio from the screen that we're going to use for the CarPlay into your stereo head unit with this style plug. And then you have this plug into this to help reduce the static or eliminate the static that most of you might know. And of course, I have all these screens here. 9 screens for the purpose of this video. Now you might say, what the heck, why 9 screens? We're only gonna use one. I bought 9 for you guys to figure out which one is the best for price, fit, and usability for this video. And I've narrowed down 9 to 4 of them to see which one will fit, and we're gonna figure out in this video which one works best. And the most important thing will be this right here, the OEM GPS head unit. So I got this one from Japan, got it shipped to my door in a couple of days. I paid way less than what people are charging in here. I understand this is harder to get fine, but everything works. I open this. The only other thing is it seems like the surface of the screen is starting to kind of, I don't know if I can show from the glare, but that bubbly. But other than that, this is essentially what you need. I'll have like the actual guide that someone made a while back that show you how to actually do this, and it will list what he used for the car. I didn't mention some of the stuff because it just depends on what you have. Info is down there linked if you want to check that out. It's a PDF. Shout out to that person. I forgot his name. The first part of the video is taking this unit apart. It's like that bubbly film that's happening, but since we're not going to reuse that, it's okay. Overall, everything still works. But the first part of the video is us taking this apart. I'm going to record it, but I'm going to try to get a detail as much as I can, but I'm not going to talk in the video. I'm just going to show you guys what bolt and where the stuff to take off. The 3 screws back here. 1, 2, and then 3. 3 on here too. 2. I can show you back here. And that should be able to take off, you know, this part to take off like that. There's tape holding down the wiring inside here and here, back here. We're gonna slowly peel it back and remove these 2 screws back here. I think I mentioned there's 2 here. I meant to say 4, so there's 2 here and then 2 more up top to unhook it from the little wiring thing, and you should be at this part where you can be able to disconnect the ribbon. Should be 4 screws here to get the back cover on this side. You don't need to take off the screws on this side, but you do need it to take off on this side. Slowly pull it out. I have a little bucket here with those screws. Slowly pull this back and you're able to kind of like, it's semi apart. Just be careful, you still have that ribbon. There's 2 screws right here. 1 right here. Right here, right here. We need to take that off. 2 screws here. 1 and 2, another one here, and another one here. That should be 4. Make it easy on you, and you don't have the brake part. See this part that I used to connect it here? This part right here is a ribbon. What I did was, there's 2 black screws that was bolted here like this. I unscrewed it, and then there's a ribbon there. If you can see, there's a plastic tab here that you just slowly kind of pull out that way and slowly wiggle the ribbon out. And then there's 1 plug here for one of the connectors. Just slowly pull out that way to be careful. And now you have this freely, and put this to the side so you don't have to worry about bending it and all that stuff. Have this, that way it's easier for you to work with. I'm gonna take off the cover for the GPS mount. You pull like towards you this way. There's a little gap here. You can use your finger on stuff. I have this little trim or thing tool that I have that does this. It helps because I can just put it between it, use it to squeeze out, and then this thing already came like that. I'm prying it out. So this thing works great. I'm glad that I have it. Now we're gonna take the old display out. 3 screws up top, 1 right here, 1 right here, and another one right here. Here's the black tape here that's holding down this wire, I guess for the motor. Peel it back, put it back, and you just kind of pry up a little bit and then slowly pull it towards you. Kind of slowly pull this out, and just like that, we're getting close to where we're at. The old screen is out. You can save this if you want. If you want to go back, revert, and put it back together and resell it, or just put it to the side or throw it away. It's up to you. I'm just gonna keep it for just in case. Before we start mocking the new screen, there's a lot of dust and debris in here. I'm going to clean it. Remember, I bought 9 screens total, and out of the 9, 4 of them, I think it was a potential that would work for this. I just kind of skip ahead and test all those floors, and I decided on this one right here. Essentially, you get the screen, the mount, suction mount, aux cord, there's MagSafe stuff, and then of course the car adapter type C. And this is where it comes in with this kit. Earlier I mentioned that I was going to talk more about it. I got this because most of the CarPlay screen use the cigarette lighter as for power. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use this one and see if it'll work. It should work, but basically tap into my fuse box, so that way I have an open cigarette lighter to use whatever it is, and then this will go like out of the way and just tap into the car ignition. So whenever I turn it on, it'll just power up. That's why. You don't have to do this part. If you just want to save money and just use this, that's fine. I just went ahead and did this. Disclaimer, you do not have to use this exact screen. You can use whatever screen you want that you think will fit, as long as it's about 7 inches and stuff. I'll try to leave the dimension down below too. The housing part right here is a little tricky. This one was the only one that could fit like literally between here with a little bit of like pushing the side to make it like snug fit. All the other ones are neither too big or too small. And when I say small, it's also like this little opening here to fit like the actual screen. This one is literally like almost perfect. I mean, technically perfect. The disclaimer is that this kind of style, doors and stuff are neither mounted on the top or bottom, not on the side for most of them. Is because if you try to mount the cores and stuff on the side, you might not have any space for it. So having it mount from the top or bottom, you have a lot of space to do. That's just me. You can try to do this one on the side, but what I mean on the side is some of them have like the ports and stuff literally on the side here. And the third disclaimer is that I do not know the quality of this screen. We're gonna find out this time. This is the first time I'm using this one, so if it breaks in a couple months, then you know that's my fault. But most of the units that I've tested, it's funny, I figured that was gonna happen anyway. They all have the same software, like literally the same software, the same function, everything like that. Boot up, everything the same, except just a little bit of a different boot up screen. Other than that, it's just minor name different, but the software itself is the same. Also does not come with a reverse camera. Now, they have a port for it, an AVA in for the reverse camera, and the port for the SD card, which you can, you know, add on music, a video and stuff like that. And I'm assuming you can change the boot logo also. Now, none of this is possible in the setting at the moment. I will be contacting the manufacturer to see what kind of steps am I able to do to change the boot logo. Because right now it boots up like this like McLaren looking logo right now. It's not too bad, but I would like to change it to my own picture. And then the other thing is I want to ask the manufacturer to see if I can just buy a reverse camera and plug it in and it should work, or does it require them sending me a new software for me to update to this unit. Once I can find out the information and confirm it, I will add it right now, right here at this part of the video to let you guys know. So if you want to use this screen or not, then you can. If not, try your own screen. It does require a little bit of a kind of push it into place. You go sideways in, and then the side bracket, I'll just kind of, but I mean, it fits like snug. Now it's almost perfect. I don't know, you can tell about reflection, but it just sits a little bit low. What I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna use the foam that it came with to just put a little bit at the very bottom to like hold it up in place. Other than that, then I'm gonna use whatever I can to kind of put the back here to help support it so it doesn't like move around. I found a little foam black piece that I had laying around was enough thickness to put on the bottom, and then since you have a lot of space here, you kind of want something to help it from not flopping this way. I am using the foam that came in the thing to put to the back of here, so that way it doesn't flop as much, and we should have enough room. That should be good enough for it to not hit anything right here. Again, this part, it's just based off you. You can do it however you want to support it from flopping around or moving around. First, there was like 2 layers of like protective screen. I peeled the first one off and left the other one on just so it doesn't scratch the screen. I've already plugged in the, remember this aux noise reducer or static reducer here first. It's a tight fit, but it's doable. And then right here is the power supply. Now I'm gonna go to the cigarette lighter route, plug that in already. Again, I'm doing it to where I can tap into the fuse of the car. It's a little more work. It has the end here for the tap and then for ground, but hopefully it'll work and make the install with less wire as possible. Now is route this into this little slot here for all the cables and stuff like that, and then we'll start slowly put back together. We're there. I put everything back together, all the screws and stuff like that. You should have some leftover parts like this little, the ribbon bracket with the 2 bolts. Another important thing is make sure that you manually open this even before you put the vents and stuff back on to make sure that none of the wire or anything is like catching on anything or messed up. We're almost there. It's not an easy task. It's a bunch of works, and I apologize if this video is not as in-depth as you might like it or not. If it is, you know, thank you for watching, like and comment. But yeah, pat yourself in the back because we're halfway there, and the next big part is we're gonna do the wiring to get power to here. It's never fun. I never like doing electrical because it gets, you know, I get scared when it comes to electrical. But for this part, it's super easy. You basically have 3 wires you're gonna tap into. I'll have the chart or which pins you're gonna tap into. And I have my phone right here to make sure. But number 25 is ground, and number 1 is the power wire, and then number 14 is basically the accessory wire. So that's all you need. There's 2 options you can do it. One, you can go find a junkyard that has a nav and cut off the harness itself and splice into it. Or in this case, what I'm gonna try is I just end up buying new wires and the pins itself, so that way I don't have to go find, you know, a junkyard car, because nowadays it's hard to find. And then we're just gonna make our own wire harness. For me, something that's different is some people might splice the factory harness and tap into it. I'm going to try to do it the other way, where I've done for my radar detector and stuff for my car, is using the pins to tap into the harness. That way I don't have to splice anything. So I have the 3 wires ready. I use the female end, I think that's what you call it, female. Like I said, I'm not an electrical person. The butt part, find one that fits that on the pin part, and I just cramp in there. I'm not gonna show you guys how to do the wire, you can look that up, but essentially I got 3. It's pretty long, a good length. You don't have to do it this long. I just did it, just if it's more, I'll just zip tie it up, heat shrink it so though it doesn't get contact with anything, or you can use electrical tape around it, just as long as you make sure that no metal and metal is touching. So finish up the wire. I went ahead and did the pin on both ends. I'm just waiting to heat shrink it. I already tested, it worked flawlessly. The unit actually opened and closed as it should. Now I can't tell you exactly which pin to use, depending on if you bought the kit that I have or you have your own stuff. Basically, find one when you go in there and open up the console. Find one that fits. I'm using this auto interface, just an example, but essentially the same concept. So in the back of the harness, of the pins, you see that there's metal. Basically, you want to find one that's long enough and thick enough that you can basically slide it back in to get like a snug fit, because you want metal and metal contact, and that's how you get power. Push it in and see if it's snug fit or not, and it's long enough that it's touching like metal and metal. Once it's that, then it should be good. And that's what I did. I literally just tested. Now I'm about to heat shrink and make sure that the wires are crimped right, and then we are gonna take the camera and go in there and show you guys how to take out the center console. But yes, this method, no reason to tap into the wire, cutting in and all of that. This is safe. It's just using pins, and that's it. So to take out the center console or the dash part, it's actually very simple. If you want to go from easiest to toughest, go to the bottom right here. This little pin on the bottom, you want to push up and pull it at the same time towards you. So where you have it, it should be 3 connectors in the back. Right here should be 3 connectors. Get it out. And then the next thing would be the top vent. You take off the cover, which is, you know, if most of y'all have this thing, take that off. There should be 2 screws right here, 1 and 1. Unbolt that. And then also, once you get that done, kind of up, like push up and pull at the same time. So you should be able to pull it out. There's no plugs or anything like that. And then this main one right here, it's 4 bolts. 1 right here, 1 right here, and then 2 more at the bottom. They're gold 10 mil. Once you get that out, you pull on it, and you should have the harness in the back. Unplug everything. You should be able to pull it out like this, and voila, we have all our wires. I will be running the Carplay wires on the side right here. You should see like it's a decent amount of gap enough to come all the way down here. We have the power an auxiliary and ground wire, the aux adapter, and everything else that's plugged in already to the CarPlay unit. If I were you, make it easier, unplug everything on the very back so you take this apart, so that make it easier for you to get to access to the cable. So take those wire that you made for the power tap, plug into the back of the unit with the, I have the little diagram again right here on the screen. It's only 3 plugs. Tap into here, and then take the prong end part and tap into the stereo harness one, the one that's like a little flat thing like this. You can just slide it into where metal and metal contact, and you should be fine. Once you do that, you can, you know, turn on the auxiliary in your car, and you can test the open and close tilt, and then you can also test that once you power it on and off, it actually opens. Now, quick tip: the first time you do this, when the screen is closed, it won't auto and open. So when you first power it on, click open, or you can manually open it. And then once it realizes that it's been open, when you turn off the car, it automatically close and then automatically open when you turn on the car again. But right now, once you get that, figure it out, we're gonna move on to the audio part. Now, it's a bit tricky, and let me show you guys. We're gonna be using this unit. Now, I didn't mention in the very beginning of the part, there's gonna be an extra part that you might or might not need, and I'm about to show you guys right now. I don't know if it's just my car or my stereo or O1, but I see most people use this component and plug it in, and then there's audio. For me, it didn't happen like that. Actually, this has been a week now that I've use this whole setup, and I tested and trying to figure out all the quirks and troubleshooting, and I figured it out. For some reason, using just this doesn't work for my car. Remember, big disclaimer, it might work for you, but it doesn't work for me. So what you need to do is buy Y split adapter also. I'll have it linked. I would just buy this just in case while you're buying everything. If you don't need it, you can always return it from Amazon, but for me, it does. Essentially, it would be working the same thing, except I'll have this one plugged in, and then I have the OEM harness plugged into here, and it goes into the port. Most people just have this, disconnect the OEM harness, just plug this in, and it works. For some reason, it was not giving me any sound or signal. I'm assuming that the signal from here was too weak to activate the stereo, so that's why I had to get the power from the OEM harness and use this, and I have confirmed that it works. In case Y split, just buy it, test it without this. If it works for you, cool. If it doesn't, put this on, it will definitely work. The isolator, we're gonna plug this in, and we're gonna take this and plug into one of the, take the OEM harness, put it in here, and then we're gonna put this in the back of here. So let me do that right now. Mine pretty wired up already. You have the one plug is for the OEM harness, and then the other one is the adapter. I have it hooked, kind of wire management, zip ties, or the little plastic thing. Put it to the side here because there's a little empty spot there. Route it. The isolator back here, just in the corner. And then these little aux thing right here, you can choose to have it plugged in or not. I've already tested. They both work. Both ways work, with in and out. Doesn't really matter. I just gonna take that out and put it to the back here. And then, of course, my wire tap back here. And then all the other wires are tucked in back there. So essentially, we're ready to plug everything back together. The power for the screen, I have routed. I don't know if you can see. I put the whole box or wire in the little corner too, because it was space. And I'll show you guys after how I route it all the way over there. If you don't know how to take that part off, you take this trim here, you just pry it up. This is all clips on the side. Same thing, there's a screw here, and then just take it off, that's it. Okay, so I route my power cable through here, literally under all this, and then tuck it in, and then I have it, see the red wire hanging. Still need to do some more tucking, but essentially it comes to right here. I'm using that kit that I bought, I show you guys, to tap into. Where's the diagram? Okay, so I tap into ignition right here. It's 7.5 amps to this port right here. But since I don't have a 7.5 amps, I end up just putting two 10 amps on there because it has 2 slots on the tap. So I just upgraded to 10 instead of 7.5. The kit comes with a ground, and there's a bolt somewhere here. You'll see it. It was just a metal bolt. It's hard for me to show it. I just tap into that and it worked for ground. So there, and then that, 210 amps, and then the ground, everything should work. Make sure you have the setting on here into aux mode. Essentially, let's say this is like how it is. You turn it on, you have the radio. You sit here, you click on this. For some people, it's twice. For me, it's just once. I click it once. Once you see it like this, that means it's in aux mode. And then we'll get to the audio right now. Everything bolted up, wire tucked. Everything is basically just how normally it should be. We're going to go do, we're ready for the fun part. So first of this part, I'm gonna turn on auxiliary and show you guys that the function of it auto open and close until it works. See, it works. We'll talk about the screen after, but essentially, tilt, works, and then close, and open, works. So now this part, I have a reset or delete the device. Like I said, I've already used this whole unit for about a week or so. I actually went on a long road trip with some friends. So it was definitely tested, and I can tell you guys that what is the pros and cons to it. So right now, imagine this is the first time you boot it up. You're gonna get this screen. This is just the normal screen, boot up screen. Contact the manufacturer to see if I can change the boot up logo or any other advanced setting. Once I figure that out, I will make a comment or pin comment down below with instructions if you want to change that. But essentially, this is what it looks like for most of the unit. So for CarPlay, you need to have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi enabled to connect. This is the screen that I got, basically the same software. So the first thing you should do is you want to go to CarPlay, or you have Android Auto, go to Android Auto. So for me, it's CarPlay. Since it's your first time, it's gonna look like this. Now, the naming of this unit is gonna be very depending on which model. It's gonna be like T, something like that. I already went and changed the name of it. If you want to change the name, the Bluetooth name, you can go click Bluetooth Manager, and literally says device name right here, and all the other stuff, options that you can do. But I changed mine to Is300 CarPlay. So that's my device name. So essentially, pull it up. You go on to Bluetooth, and you can see there Is300 CarPlay. So you connect, you pair it, you do all that, allow all that stuff for CarPlay, connect for CarPlay, boom. And look how fast it does it. I will block my address. So now, just right there, you have CarPlay set up. That's the first step. Part will me showing you how fast it boots up and connect to CarPlay. Ignition. And like that, alright, CarPlay. I think it's pretty good. Maybe less than a minute. I'll put actual time, but it's already CarPlay stuff. So it boots up pretty fast. So for function wise, for this car screen, I have the touch assist on, which is, I don't know if you can see, there's a little button on the corner that pops it like that. Essentially, if you want to go back to the home screen, you can get to that screen and adjust all the settings at the bottom. If you have it hooked up to aux, one thing you should do is you come to this speaker icon thing at the bottom here. You have all 4 options. You have speaker, you have Bluetooth audio, FM, and you have aux. Make sure you put it on aux, so then that way the signal, the audio signal from here goes to the aux system that you matched up. That's what I have already. And yeah, you can do CarPlay, audio, Android Audio, AirPlay, Android Cast. You have media, you have audio output here, and then you have your setting stuff, which you can go through and auto dim and all this stuff. Assist a touch here if you want to turn on the little thing. If you really don't care for it, I just put it on. It doesn't bother me. Okay, so for the audio part, I will be honest. There's a little bit of lag with CarPlay. If you know you have aftermarket stuff, you should know. Just a little bit of lag, but not too much. I can't play music from YouTube, copyright, but I'm going to go on my website that I use for copyright music, so I don't get. Yep. So audio works through the aux. Everything's Bluetooth. Essentially, that's what everything is. You have CarPlay, the screen aftermarket. You have the aftermarket screen with CarPlay. You have the auto open and close function and tilt of the OEM GPS unit. Everything else works. AC, CD player. My stereo. It's not a 6 CD changer. I guess it's a regular one, and the number on the head unit, if it matters to you to make sure that you have the issue that I have, is 16819. That's the I guess model number for my stereo. To the last part of the video, I have to use my little mic because it's pretty windy right now. But this part of the video is going to be about cost, and this is going to dictate for some of you if this whole thing is worth it at all for you guys or not, or you can just slap in a double din and call it a day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all the stuff in 2 categories. One is that it's like priority. It's important. Like you have to get it to get all this stuff to work. And in the second one, it's like optional or not as important. It just depends on if you have these stuff laying around the house or is given for free and stuff like that. So it's not like you have to buy it. I have a little chart and stuff maybe here or something like that. Okay. So of course, first thing is, the most important thing is to start talking about the price. This is just purchasing, this is just listing or purchasing price. I'm not gonna do tax and I'm not gonna include tax or shipping like that because it varies for most of you guys. This is the price that I paid for at the moment I bought it for. OEM GPS unit. I got mine from Japan. It's from an Alteza, from overseas, not including shipping, for $203. You can find it here or over there for cheaper or more expensive, depends on where you find it. The 7-inch CarPlay screen, again, you can use whatever one you want for it. If it fits, whatever it is, you can get one that has reverse camera included and mic and all that stuff. Up to you. It's just the one that I use. And that is $43.23. The Aux Adapter, which is the one that sends the signal to have the audio, is $22. And then the Aux Noise Isolator, which is help for the static, is $9. And then this part, this is just important for me, my situation, so it's give or take. It's the Aux Y split harness, the one I show you guys. It is $10. So I would get it just in case while you're ordering it. If it works for you, if you need it for your car, cool. If it doesn't, just return it. Important stuff. It's a total of $287.23. You don't have to get it if you have all this stuff laying around or not. So first thing is an 18 gauge wire, 2-pack. It's 25 feet for $7. 50-piece terminal pins, those little pins I made, $20 for the kit. The USB-C dash cam hardware kit, which is to power the unit and tap it into, $17. The heat shrink for the wiring is $7 for the kit. And then the aux 90-degree bend extension 2-pack. Basically, my aux cord coming from here, it was hitting the unit, so I got a 90-degree bend, so it does, doesn't mess with the wire. For a 2-pack, $7. Now, if you want to add up total everything, it's a total of $345.23. It was $287.23 just for the most important stuff, and then all the other side parts added on to it, total of $345.23. That gives you an idea for how much it costs to do this. I hope this guide or video is very helpful for you, whoever wants to do it. To me, is it worth it? Heck yeah, it is worth it. Could I just put in a double din and call it a day? Of course, but I like that OEM look. Pop open and close. Just looks very open, and I can have the other stuff still OEM. I personally approve this. It looks good. I already tested out the whole strip. No issue so far. Carplay works whenever it does. I had no anything. So we'll do a quick pros and cons of the unit so far that I had it for about a week-ish. Of course, CarPlay in my screen, having the auto works into the stereo, so just boot right up. Second pros is having the screen higher up so I can actually see, and no issue at all. And audio-wise, it sounds overall great compared to my car. No static. It's loud, and compared to what I had before, it was an FM transmitter. Definitely a lot better. Cons is, of course, the costs. It does add up. You can just do a double din and call it a day. Another con is that you just have to kind of makeshift everything together, piece everything together if you want to save money, which is, it's okay. Honestly, the third is just the install, which is not really a big con because, I mean, you just got to take stuff apart, cut wires and all that stuff. But other than that, I think overall, the pros weigh over the cons. It's worth it to me. I'm assuming for you guys who are watching this video, you've been wanting to do this, and I actually recommend doing this. This is really not that bad at all. I mean, the tedious part is just taking stuff apart and then the wiring. Other than that, just plug, make sure everything audio works, and call it a day. We just turned the IS300 to have a little more modern function overall. I'm actually glad that I did this mod. A lot of people have done it. I didn't really see a good in-depth video of how to do it at all, so that's why I'm doing this. On the interior, some love. Hopefully I'll do some more. The trip that I went on with my friends will be before this video, and drove the car in around the canyons. It was great. I learned what I need to improve on. Thank you for watching. I hope this guide really helps you on deciding if you want to do this or want to tackle this. And I hope that I explain it good enough that you guys can understand that, hey, most of my videos, if I can do it, you can do it. So don't be scared. Just take your time, go step by step, and yeah, you got this. Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. You're trying to learn. And as the more you know, the better you are. Stop the video right now. Till next time, deuces.